Hi, I'm Brian Yamasaki.
And I'm Brandon Kaiser.
And welcome to Taking It to the Mat.
Today we'd like to welcome my good friend Cade Anderson to the show. Me and Cade go way back. We actually started our Thai boxing training together over 10 years ago at about a 450 square foot gym in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah, and the Brickyard area.
Yep, we've both been training ever since. Went down some different paths and trained under some different coaches, and then reunited. And now I'm really pleased to have him on the show and have him teach us a couple things.
Thanks for coming out, Cade.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys having me here.
For those of you who don't know, Cade was the man responsible for helping UFC veteran and legend Randy Couture prepare for his fight against Tim Sylvia. Cade, can you tell us a little bit about what was going through your mind when you got that phone call and you heard, hey, we need a guy to help us train Muay Thai for a UFC fight? What was that like for you?
Well, actually, I'd already been working for Randy and Boss out in Hollywood at their gym that they'd opened Legends there. It's called Legends. They're basically the front men for it, so they were in there once in a while. And I'd worked with Randy a few times there. And then he tracked me down here in Utah and asked me to come work with him at the gym he was opening in Vegas, which is Extreme Couture. And he's got most of the UFC and Pride and IFL. And Bodog, just about anybody who's anybody's training out there right now. So.
Awesome. So basically, it wasn't a big deal for you. You'd already been working with them. It was just kind of like, like Brandon might be calling.
No, I'd definitely say it was a big deal. It's amazing to be called from by somebody that you've watched while you were growing up doing it, and to come and ask a 29-year-old guy to come help him train when he's already got 5 championship belts under his waist, That was definitely intimidating, but I've been training now for close to 15 years, so I think it was just a progression in my career.
Sure. Could you tell us a little bit more about maybe where you cut your teeth and picked up some of your experience over the years?
Yeah, like I said, Brandon and I started a long time ago at a small gym in Foothill, Brickyard area. And then after that, I ended up moving to California, moving in with Seksan Janjira, who's a 7-time world champion. I actually slept on his couch for 2 years and fought for him either monthly, bi-monthly, or bi-weekly, depending on how much money we needed at the time. But
so basically, he pimped you out.
Essentially, yeah.
Did you ever? You spent some time in Thailand as well. Can you tell us
after I lived with him, he then took us over to Thailand on a trip over there, and I was introduced to Sagat Pechindi, who's another legend. He's a 13-time world champion. And a couple other guys that are good friends of mine now. I'm lucky enough to be able to go back there and go stay with them when I want and go back there quite often.
You've even done a stint as did you complete your monkship? What do they call it?
It's called a pansa. Like the Thai people generally, when they do it, it's a 3-month period that the males do before they turn 21. And you just go and you dedicate yourself, get ordained as a monk. And then do your 3 months, and then you're allowed to deordain after that and move on, and it's just, I did it more of a way of getting in touch with Thai culture and kind of understanding a little bit more about Muay Thai and the people that were doing it, and, as a respect issue,
Excellent.
Cade, would you mind showing us some of the specifics of what you covered in training Randy Couture for that Tim Sylvia fight? Any drills or specific techniques or anything you went over?
Yeah. Actually, there was one specific drill that I'd worked with Tim a little bit when he came up to Griffin Reynolds' place when he was still up in Holiday. And Tim Sylvia was in town with Rich Franklin at the time. And I'd watched his technique and watched him train a little bit, and so I kind of picked up a few things with the way he was jabbing. I call it lazy jabs, lazy arms. You're putting your hand out and you're bringing it back low.
Rowing the jab.
Yeah, rowing the jab. And so I noticed that, and I just kind of developed a technique off of that, and that's actually what Randy ended up dropping him with in the first 10 seconds of the fight. And it was it was supposed to be a 3-punch combination, but he got 2 of them off. And when I talked to Randy, he was like, "Man, I went to go do it and put 2 out there, and he wasn't there for the 3rd one."
So, great. Let's take a look.
So we'll try that one. Okay, this is a technique that I worked on with Randy Couture before the fight. Like I said, I noticed a few holes in Tim's game. He likes to keep his arms out long. Taller guys, generally, when we're getting attacked, if somebody rushes in at us, our first instinct is to get our head away and put our arms out, because a lot of guys just rely on that reach. It's a huge mistake. One, I'm already off balance. If he comes in and I'm leaning back, where's my hips right now? If he actually connects, I'm going straight to the canvas for sure, okay? So if somebody's gonna be coming in at you and rushing like that, you know, you wanna keep an upward stance, like Dave was saying before about when he was shooting and keeping his head up. It's almost the same thing. Okay, so what we had Randy doing for this one is we knew Tim was gonna run away with the hands out. So he came in with a low kick just to feint and get him to get his head to think down and get his hands to come down a little bit, okay? He comes back, he kicks, he starts to move away. Got the overhand, get a nice powerful shot in. Move in for the left hook, get the third one in. Hopefully by then he wouldn't be standing, and it just took two to get it work. Okay, it's just an easy way for a Muay Thai fighter to cover distance and not risking getting that leg taken out. Because the last thing he wanted to happen is for him to just catch the leg and have a nice power shot with his right, because he has a heavy right. He didn't want to get caught with any of the kicks. So it was an easy way to smother him and open up the head, because tall people generally want to lean back, you know? It's just a good mistake. Okay, with this technique, the difference between MMA fighters and Muay Thai fighters, a lot of the MMA fighters, when they're doing kick techniques, they're trying to get away real quick. You know, they're always falling outward, right? The Thai fighter, a lot of times you see them use the kick to move in, to get inside and start creating more to work with, right? Okay, so that's what I wanted him to do at this fight. When I first explained the move to him, he laughed at me and told me there was no way his body was going to be able to move forward like that while he was kicking. And I showed him how to do it. And I actually ended up hitting him with it accidentally. And I caught him with the overhand right after that. He loved it. We practiced it for the next 2 months. And like I said, I think he landed it within 10 seconds of the fight. I know that there's something you guys wanted to bring up as a recurring theme in your show, where you guys kind of look back on some of the previous techniques that you've shown on the shows. So one that I'd like to show really quick is how last week you were talking about catching a middle kick or a Thai kick. There's a couple other things that we can expound on with that. With some people,